Welcome, everybody, to another edition of All In with Art Stapleton, a New York Giants podcast brought to you by NorthJersey.com and The Record. I am your host, Art Stapleton, and boy, do we have a show for you, specifically the one-on-one that I have promised with sensational rookie Arvell Reese of the New York Giants, inside linebacker. I think you guys are really going to enjoy the interview. Had a great post-practice conversation with Arvell. We'll set that up in a second. But let's talk. We're recording this on Wednesday, getting ready. The Giants are on their way to Miami. There's been some news for the Giants. They made a trade today. Daniel Faalele, the starting guard for John Harbaugh in Baltimore each of the past 2 years, had really fallen to third team here, was in deep reserves for the Giants. Somehow, Joe Schoen and John Harbaugh worked their magic with the Jacksonville Jaguars, who are desperate, who lost one of their starting guards, Patrick McCarry, to back surgery. They got a 6th-round pick for Daniel Faalele, and I'm not even sure if Faalele would have made the roster for the Giants in a couple weeks. But he is now on his way to Jacksonville, physical pending, of course. But I think it'll be interesting to see now how the offensive line takes shape this weekend. But to get a 6th-round pick, now the Giants have a little capital for next year. Do they use that 6th-round pick to plug a hole? Defensive tackle, perhaps, maybe a corner for a team that might be looking to not cut a guy, but have a surplus at that position. The Giants also today claimed defensive tackle, undrafted rookie Ben Barton from Wisconsin, from the Jets, who started in East Rutherford. So now he's gone from East Rutherford to West Virginia to Florham Park, now back to East Rutherford, but he's on his way to Miami now with the Giants. The Giants are low on depth at defensive tackle. They don't want to burn out Shelby Harris or DJ Reader up front. They have some injuries. Bobby Jamison-Travis was shaken up the other day in practice. He did not practice. So I think the Giants are kind of looking to bring in some bodies there. Barton knows the system. He comes in, and he'll probably get some time this weekend in the preseason game number 2 in Miami. Thursday, Giants have a joint practice with the Dolphins down in Miami. We will not be there for that, but obviously if there's anything breaking news related, we will do what we can to catch up. But without any further ado, before we keep going on and on and on and on, I think it is time to go to number 52, the number 5 overall pick in the 2026 NFL Draft. He is on the back of a golf cart at the end of practice on Tuesday, exhausted, 2.5-hour practice. John Harbaugh really continues to put them through the ringer. He was in pads on Tuesday. So here is Arvell Reese in my conversation. Hope you enjoy it.
Take me inside the huddle, and when the huddle breaks, your vision and eyes, I would imagine in your position with everything else everybody wants to talk about, that's probably number one, right? Knowing what you see and being able to tell the difference between truth and lies as far as what they're trying to show you and what they're really not showing you. How much has that developed through the years for you and been a big part of your growth in the position you play?
When I first started off playing this position in high school, it was really just lining up and going. And as I got to college, having Laura Nidis in the room and him helping me with stuff, he taught me to put my eyes in the right places and, be able to look at the right things. So now when I'm in the huddle, whenever we break the huddle, I'm immediately getting my eyes in the right place depending on the call. My eyes need to be in a certain place. So yeah.
Is it keys? Is it what you guys are trying to do defensively, or is it just everything?
Is what we're trying to do defensively, and then the formation the offense is giving us. It's not just this. I got on this defensive play. That changed with different formations.
And so it's really a mental thing. I mean, everything else that physically happens is tied into the mental aspect of it, right? I mean, does that get into even more so? Are you looking forward to when you start breaking down your opponents, week one, when you guys actually dig in and start trying to find tendencies and stuff? Is that part of a game that just isn't here right now because you're not doing that?
Yeah, camp, we installing 12 plays. When we first started off, we was installing 12 to 15 plays a day. So right now, it ain't no game plan in this. The New York Giants offensive plays, the New York Giants defensive plays.
Right.
We just throwing plays out there, going back and forth. So there's no game plan. And obviously, we pick up on tips. We going against these guys every day, so we can, we see when certain stuff coming. But
I was gonna say, do you force yourself to not cheat? Because there have been guys in the past here, I know DBs have talked about, like they know when a play is coming, they're jumping routes and stuff like that. I would imagine in your position, I know what's coming, but I got to stick to what we're doing. I'm not gonna, you know what I mean? That's what I mean in terms of cheating a route. Okay, I've seen this before. I know. Just because it's your guys, it might not necessarily help you down the road in 3 weeks. That kind of thing.
Oh no, I mean if you, for example, like if it's a pass play and you, as the play going on, you processing this concept and you've seen this concept before, and that's your guy, you go make that play. You don't slow yourself down. We going against these guys. They want to see you pick up on tendencies and stuff.
Okay.
So if you see something, you got a chance to go make a play, go make it. And then tell the coach, I seen that before, I knew that was coming. That's what they want to hear. So you don't never do that. But yeah, I mean, if we picking up on stuff in practice and you see it the next day, go do it. Go make that play. Don't never
Coach is basically that, don't do that.
Yeah, no, don't slow yourself down.
You had a play yesterday, and I think it was in 7-on-7 when Malik was out there. Malik made that catch and fell down and slammed the ball, and he was all excited and eager. And it was almost like Jackson learned from West Virginia to get the ball over you. When you're in coverage, do you see a quarterback kind of adjusting because they've now realized your wingspan, your length, and the way you play in coverage? Because you've had a couple plays, another one today, where it's almost like it's underestimated and you kind of get the quarterback.
So what was you asking me again?
Just yesterday in that play over there, he had to throw the ball way up and almost like lifted, Malik had to jump, to get it. But if he had that any lower, you're swatting that away. Maybe you're picking it and going the other way. Do you notice when a quarterback is affected by your length, or is it still too soon to kind of see that in games?
I think in practice I've been noticing that. I mean, a couple days ago it was a play. We was in the red zone on the goal line, and I made him throw it like it was like a foul ball. How high he had to throw it. And that was just with me, obviously being tall and jumping and forcing that throw. And then, like you said, yesterday he threw it over my head and got it to Malik. So he obviously adjusted and made that play now. But I'm definitely seeing like Dart having to adjust some of his passes. That's with me and Maine though. Taller.
Yeah. With the play today down there in the red zone, take me through that. What did you see, and how did it open up for you at the goal line?
Yeah, we was running 2 to my side, and it was flood on my side. It was 4 guys to my side. So pre-snap, Maine had said alert push. So I'm already thinking like I'm gonna have to push my drop. So we bit on the play fake a little bit. I immediately panic drop, run out there to that 7 route. I'm pushing like I'm having to push my drop from the hash all the way out to the numbers. I run up under the 7 route. As soon as I get my head around the ball right there, and I'm jumping. I'm trying to make a play on it, but it's already there. So I try to go one, don't end up catching it. But I guess you could say it's a PBU, but I'm supposed to run off with that.
So you wanted that. So we all come away impressed with the way you played it. You came off expecting you should have gotten the ball and the interception had gone the other way.
That should have been a pick. If I would have got my head around quicker, I got to get 2 on that. That's supposed to be a pick for sure.
How do you stay a perfectionist in what you're trying to do and be hard on yourself and be critical when it does seem to us that you're doing things, I don't want to say better than a rookie, but you're doing things well here in camp. You've gotten praise from the coaches. How do you stay a perfectionist for yourself and be critical in what you're trying to do?
Every time I come out here to practice, I'm always looking to get better at something. I know a lot of guys say that, but I truly watch myself and be like, bro, I could be so much better than this. Like almost on every rep, I'm critiquing myself. Like I'm nowhere near where I think I should be. That's how I talk to myself. So every time I come out here each and every day, it's like, bro, you did terrible at this yesterday. let's lock in on this and let's get better at this. Just making sure I'm getting better at something every day. Never just coming out here and just like, oh, another day of practice. Let's. No. It might be a day where I'm like, no, I got to get my pad level down. No, I got to get my hands more active. No, I got to get my eyes in the right place. Stuff like that. So I'm always trying to get better at something every day, and I'm always watching myself like, no, I could have been better right there.
We always talked about young players in this league. I've been doing this, 15 years, and they always talk about where a player ends up early on dictates how much success and maybe how much struggle they're going to have, because certain teams want to use them a certain way, and we all know everything that was talked about you pre-draft and go, this team saw you as an edge, and this team. It seems to me that you found the best spot because they're giving you an opportunity to kick ass with the things that you know how to do, but also give you the opportunity to continue to learn and kind of spread your wings a little bit as far as, rushing the edge and being in sub packages. Do you feel that? I know you don't stop and think about it, or at least I assume you don't, but sometimes you just get in the right spot, you get with the right coaches, and it just feels right.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. And as soon as I was drafted here, the first thing I thought in my head was I'm about to be playing inside backer. And I was happy thinking that, because I'm like, dang, I remember sitting down with Bush and Denard, and they yeah, you gonna be an inside backer here. So as soon as I got drafted, I'm like, yeah, I might be playing inside backer, I might be blitzing, I might be doing all this stuff that I already want to do. It's not like I'm just about to,
right.
go to edge and play that.
You can't tell people that though, right? In the process when it's going on, they're telling you all this stuff, right? That's got to be hard to be like, you go away. You probably tell people in your inner circle, man, I really like, because you're never going to turn down a challenge, right? If the team wants to put you at edge,
so, but no matter where I ended up, I would have gave it my all, no matter where. But me just being here, I think it's the perfect situation for me, for sure. Having Denard and all the stuff we about to do, and the way he about to deploy me, and, all the stuff he about to do, man, I'm super excited for it. And I already knew it. As soon as I got drafted, I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm happy I'm here.
I remember I asked you about the 52 when you got it, and you said, no special reason, that kind of thing. As you've gone on here wearing it, does it feel like yours? Does it feel like it's you?
Yeah, 52 me, yeah.
Because some guys just are eyeing other numbers and can't wait for that other number to open up.
I'm 52 for right now. I don't know what'll happen in the future, but right now I'm 52.
Last thing is, we asked you down in West Virginia the idea that is there a better sound than that pop in the hole? You had another one today with Ricard, you and Ricard meeting in the hole. What is that like with a guy like him, knowing that you got basically a converted defensive tackle trying to run in there, play offense, and you guys are meeting in the hole?
Yeah, that's super exciting, man. Me and Ricard, we meet in the hole every day almost. That's what it feel like. But yeah, it's super exciting. Him being 300 pounds and, being a former D tackle, getting that work every day, that's good for me, and then that's good for him as well, because I'm coming downhill and I ain't, so that's the good work. I'm happy to bump heads with him every day, because going into the game, I ain't too much thinking of nothing. I'm doing it with Pat every day.
Right.
He a dog at it. He's 300 pounds, so
Last thing is, you came for the opportunity. You look around here, you see the skyline every day, where you are. I would imagine at some point this will feel like home for you. You got the season on the horizon. What's this like for Arvell Reese getting ready to play this season?
For me, wait, what you mention about the city?
Just you look around here, you're sitting here. Yeah. This is home now. You see the skyline over there in the city. Mm-hmm. You're here, and this is real now. This is not thinking what's going on. Just curious what you think in terms of this being your home and what's lies ahead for you.
For me, man, I just try to live in the moment, man. Like you said, the game coming up is about to be real, but I'm just trying to take it day by day and just be myself, man. I ain't trying to do nothing out of the ordinary. Just come in the building, be myself every day, get better every day. And that game time come, I think I'm gonna be ready for it for sure.
All right, and there you have it, the interview with Arvell Reese. Part conversational, part interview. I really enjoyed my time with Arvell. He was great. I love the fact that when he didn't ask or understand a couple questions, he asked to repeat them, rephrase them. That's a sign of a mature 20-year-old. He's the youngest player on the Giants roster right now at 20. And really, there was a lot of talk beginning of training camp where Arvell Reese wasn't necessarily comfortable in a media setting. He was brilliant yesterday. I really thought he was great. I thought he's thoughtful, and all of his answers I thought provided great context and great candor for where he sits. And there you go. He's sticking with the 52 for now. So he's not ruling out next year or the year after that, switching his numbers for whatever reason, but it sure sounds like he's going to be sticking with 52, as I told you on Tuesday's episode. The one thing I thought was interesting is that extraordinary people always say that they're not going to do anything out of the ordinary. And that's because what they do on a day-to-day basis is extraordinary in and of itself. And I think that goes for Arvell Reese. I love the fact that he talked about just being honest, that he was psyched to be drafted by the Giants because he knew he'd be playing inside linebacker. Talked about linebackers coach Frank Bush, defensive coordinator Denard Wilson, basically telling him their plan for him. And look, he could have gone to the Jets at number 2. Maybe he should have. Some people have made that argument. Arizona at number 3, Tennessee at number 4. But all of those teams viewed him as an edge rusher, and that they weren't going to use a top 5 pick on an inside linebacker. And where Arvell Reese fits for the Giants down the road, if he turns into an edge rusher, then it'll only be because he hits that ceiling at inside linebacker. But for right now, that is a projection. So I like what the Giants are doing. I think Reese is going to make far greater impact this year as a rookie than he would have had he been in any of those cities, just simply because he's going to play a position that he's very comfortable in. And instead of teaching him 90% of the position, he knows instinctually 90% of the job that an inside linebacker has to have. Now, obviously, he's learning every day. He's learning the playbook. He's learning tendencies. He's looking forward to being able to sit in a room, break down opposing offenses. That play he made on Tuesday in the team drill when he swatted away the Jackson Dart pass. He's done that a couple times. I love talking about it, how frustrated he was that he thought he should have picked it and gone to the house. That is a 6'4", 243-pound man talking about doing the athletic things on the football field that only special players do. So that was Arvell Reese. I hope you guys enjoyed that. We'll also have a column on Arvell Reese within the next week or so. Enjoy that on NorthJersey.com. Obviously, I'll mention it on here when we get to it. One other thing, I know everybody after Falalele gets traded, okay, what does that mean for the offensive line? Well, I think first off, it means Josh Azudu kicks inside the guard. I think the rookie, J.C. Davis, will be at left tackle. And then that moves Marcus Bowe to right tackle. And I think at left guard will be Aaron Stinney. And I think he has a clear runway to that reserve guard spot. First guard up if something were to happen to John Runyon and CeCe Maui Noah. Now, what I will say is Runyon is one of the most underappreciated players in camp this summer. He has had a very good summer. I look forward to talking to him at some point. But there was a lot of pressure from the outside talking about he could be beat out for that position, cut. Giants can save $9 million. Right now, he is one of the most, if not the most consistent offensive lineman that the Giants have in Runyon. So I think right now I would be pretty comfortable with Runyon at left guard. He's looked very good this summer and held his own against what the Giants have up front with younger players and older players with Shelby Harris, DJ Reader, and then obviously Darius Alexander has been more of a pass rusher. I think you're going to see more Chauncey Golston, especially in the joint practice. They're going to probably play him a lot with his hand in the dirt at a 5 technique. I don't know if he'll be able to withstand the physical nature of a run defense. But I think Golston, they're going to give him a shot inside until they find somebody to kind of fill that run stopper role at the 5 technique. And I think that'll either come from a trade or from the waiver wires. The Giants have fifth priority, so they will be looking for guys to be able to plug into that hole. So we'll see how that shakes out. The other thing is the wide receiver market. The Houston Texans lost a young receiver in Jaden Higgins to an ACL. He is their number 3 receiver. They have had brutal luck at wide receiver. It would not shock me at all if Nick Caserio in Houston made a call to Joe Shane and John Harbaugh and started talking Braxton Berrios, who was in Houston last year, maybe Calvin Austin, and maybe even Darius Slayton. Houston has the cap space. They can take Slayton's salary. He would be a solid number 3 for CJ Stroud. Now, I don't know if the Giants will be looking to deal any of those players, but those are the kind of things that I think the general manager and the personnel department and the coaching staff are talking about this time of year. You're talking about, not going out and getting a big fish, but you are looking to plug holes with upgrades in talent. And I think they're trying to do that across the board. And if they can get an asset back, then maybe that opens up the wide receiver room a little bit, and Odell Beckham Jr. has a better opportunity to grab a spot and one that he's really earned to this point. And maybe you get an asset for somebody who's not going to be able to make. And I think another receiver is Darnell Mooney. I've heard that there have been teams that have been asking around about Darnell Mooney if he's available from the Giants. Again, you're not talking about teams that are trying to find a wide receiver 1 or 2. You're talking about teams that are trying to find a wide receiver 3 or wide receiver 4 that fit their scheme. So that I think the Giants would be willing to deal one of those players. If it's me, I'm keeping Braxton Berrios because I think Brett Berrios could really be an asset as a return specialist. I think he's back at 100%, and he is special with the ball in his hands. So I would not be looking to deal him. If I can deal Calvin Austin, for a specific number, I don't know how much 11 personnel the Giants are going to be playing this year. I think they'll be playing a lot of 12 with the tight ends, whether it's Isaiah Likely and Theo Johnson or Isaiah Likely and Chris Manhertz. So it'll be interesting to see how that breaks down over the next week or so. But I definitely think that the wide receiver position is one to keep an eye on that teams may be calling around. And that'll wrap it up. So for Paul Wood, I'm Art Stapleton, and we appreciate you being all in. And as I've said before, I say it again, we acknowledge you for being all in. We'll catch you on Saturday for the post-game pod after Giants Dolphins down in Miami.